Hello and welcome to The Hop, a marketing podcast. I'm your host, Matt Taylor-Farrington, and the owner of Purple Bunny Marketing. And today I'm joined by John Dwyer from the Institute of Wow. And we're going to talk about why direct response marketing should be used by all businesses everywhere. But before we dive into that, John, the Institute of Wow, tell us about it.
Well, thank you, Matt, for that intro, and I'm really pleased to be here. And I think it is a privilege for you because I know everything. I just thought I'd highlight that right from the start. So therefore, who's watching this now going, turn it off, turn it off.
Is that the baby boomer thing that we had the conversation in the elevator before?
We had a conversation before we turned the cameras on, baby boomers versus millennials. It's just going to be, I've got 6 millennials as children. I was like that around whenever we get together for barbecues. It's baby boomer versus millennial.
Yes.
The Institute of Wow, we're a direct response marketing agency, and as that term infers, it's all about direct response marketing. In other words, advertising on Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn or whatever today and getting response tomorrow. So as opposed to branding, which is putting your message out on the back of a rugby league shirt or maybe on the side of a bus.
Yes. And I guess that you've kind of jumped into that first question there where we talked about what is direct response marketing. And I guess it's more around the actual advertising of a product, a service, whatever the case may be, to actually generating that lead into your business or that sale. Quickly. Yes.
Yeah, that's right. And look, there are bigger businesses out there, the likes of Nike and Kellogg's and Coca-Cola, who can afford to sponsor the Olympics or football teams and put their ads on the side of buses. But most of the businesses that we deal with are not. They're doing a few $100,000, or they might be doing $1 million or $2 or $5 million. Yes. They can't afford the luxury of just brand building because they've got to put food on the table in the meantime.
Yes. Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll dive into question number 2. So I guess what are the key benefits of direct response marketing versus your traditional marketing strategies?
I have no idea, so I can imagine now.
Great podcast.
Who is watching this going, that was short. The world's shortest podcast. At the end of the day, it's problem-solution marketing.
Yes.
And I know this sounds corny when I say this, but morning television basically was built on infomercials, which were direct response.
Correct.
And so what they would do is that they would give whoever's watching the morning TV a problem, they would aggravate the problem, and then they'd provide the solution. So whether it was the George Foreman barbecue or whether it was Jenny Craig, weight loss programs,
yes.
They would say, look, your problem is, or have you got a problem which, let's just take Jenny Craig, for example. They'd say, look, are you perhaps a little overweight and you're not feeling good about yourself? And then they would aggravate that problem by saying, well, summer's just around the corner, do you want to look good in the swimsuit? And then they'd provide you with the solution, which would come on the Jenny Craig diet program. And then number 4, they would provide proof, which generally speaking is testimonials. And then number 5 is CTA, call to action, which is, come to jennycraig.com and get the dietary program.
Correct, yeah.
So if I could just, whoever's watching this, please get a pen out, otherwise Matt will be upset. Problem, aggravate problem, solution, a proof, which is testimonials, and then call to action.
Yes. And I guess in our field, we go out and talk to a lot of business like yourself, and we seem to hit that roadblock all the time with people who say, oh, but that wouldn't work for my business. Direct response marketing, I think it's the nuts and bolts of any marketing strategy that everyone should be doing. Yep. That's what you're here to do, is problem solve.
Yep.
But it definitely works for every industry, correct?
Exactly. Those people who say, look, my business is different and it wouldn't work for me, you know what I do to them? I just hit them. Just belt them. Or I get like strong men, not me, but just
take some back up. Yes.
Exactly. This is a weird pop. I'm sorry. Look, we get that all the time. Well, my business is different. And of course businesses are different, but the actual problem solution scenario suits every single business. It doesn't matter whether your problem is that you don't like the breakfast cereal, it's not healthy for you, so Kellogg's come along and say, we've got Nutrigain. Or it's perhaps, your problem is the lawn is overgrown and you haven't got the best lawnmower, so therefore they've got the best. It's problem solution. If you go down the problem solution path, I can almost guarantee you that you'll find that your sales will just be very, very different very quickly. Yeah,
agreed. Branding's great and it's great for awareness and like you said, if you've got the budget to do it, great. But if you don't, problem solving is the key to delivering an excellent marketing campaign.
And Matt, I always give the sarcastic, as you can tell, I'm a little cheeky, so therefore I give the scenario if I'm doing a webinar or I'm doing a seminar, I always say to those people who go, oh, you know, my name's John Dwyer, but I get JDs. They go, oh, JD, but I'm still all about brand building because, you know, okay, well, that's fine. And I'm sponsoring the local little basketball team. And I go, yeah, look, I've had 6 kids and we were at Saturday morning soccer for quite some years, right? And they were always sponsored by the local butcher or something. And but not once did I ever see one of the parents get a pen out and go, number 4, slow down, I just want to get the butcher's number off the back of your jersey because we want to buy some meat from that butcher, you know. So a lot of the times they will spend money, they being business owners who don't understand direct response, they'll spend money on what they think is branding, but all it is someone stealing their money because they were stupid.
Yeah, and I mean, I call it donations when it comes to that sort of stuff. And if you're happy and you've got the money to do it, make the donation, that's great. Yep. But don't rely on that to be your sole way of generating leads to your business or sales.
It's almost like vanity metrics, isn't it? I mean, we sponsor the local little basketball team or football team, this, that and the other. It's like vanity metrics where I've got so many likes on Facebook. And you know, the children are around the table that night saying, Daddy, I know you got 100 likes today, but we've got no food. There's no food on the table. Daddy, there's no food.
Yeah, I agreed. It's crazy what I think perceived value is sometimes of these things. But yes. Yeah. All right. Final question. So what have you found to be the most effective channels when using direct marketing? And I would assume in your career, those channels have changed over time. But here and now, what are you finding to be the most effective channels?
When I first got into marketing, we used to give away horses for the horse and buggy.
Yep.
So therefore, that was a big one because that's how long I've been in the game. I'm waiting for Matt to give a reaction to that horse and buggy. Okay, look, it's coming now. It's coming now. The baby boomer joke sinks in.
Yes.
Look, I was the advertising guy at Woolworths for a while, and we used to have lots of incentives there. And I was explaining to you before we kicked off.
Yes.
We would join with Crown Corning, glassware and cookware, and what we would do is that we'd say to the customers, look, for every $10 you spend at Woolworths, you'll get a little stamp. You lick the stamp and put it on a saver sheet. Anyone closer to my village would know. You're going, stamp? What's a stamp?
Yeah, is there an app for that?
So therefore they'd save up the saver sheet and then they would get cookware and glassware for $1.99 a piece. And it's like incredibly successful. And then after I left Woolworths and set up my own thing, which is now called the Institute of Wow, we specialised in incentives because we recognised that smaller businesses just didn't have the wherewithal that Woolworths have got. They can't knock on Crown Corning's door and say, can you give me some cheap glassware.
Yes.
And so what we've done is we've put together lots and lots of incentive packages, whether it be fuel discounts. Again, obviously that's not a surprise. If I came from Woolworths, I was going to take that.
Correct.
And things like, for example, dining vouchers and you might movie vouchers, for example.
Yep.
They're great incentives, but if you give someone a movie voucher, they know that you value them at $50. If you give someone a $100 dining voucher, they know that you value them at $100. What you're looking for is what McDonald's have done. And McDonald's have got a toy that in a toy shop with their Happy Meals, in a toy shop it'd be worth $4 or $5, but they get it out of China for 20 cents.
Yes.
So it's a low cost, but a high perceived value.
Yes.
And the one that really I have found works across pretty much all demographics is a complimentary holiday.
Yep.
And so, we've partnered up with, over the years, various, travel companies. And, we've got one at the moment whereby people can actually give away a free vacation of 3 to 7 nights when someone buys their product or service. It's worth $1,000, but it only costs them less than $50. So
yeah, right.
That's the crazy part about it. So it's like McDonald's where you've got a small cost but a high perceived value.
Yes. And I guess that's the thing. It's about what the customer perceives on their side as to whether they're going to give you the money or they're going to go to, say, your competition or where else, basically.
Mate, I'm glad you brought that up because the thing is that if you're in a Me Too category, and most solar dealerships are, just about any business you can think of is in a Me Too category, where your product or service looks exactly the same as the competitors, you want to look for a Happy Meal toy. You better look for something that's going to distinguish you from your competitors, because if you decide that's going to be price, then guess what? It's a race to the bottom.
Yes, 100%.
Because the moment you say, oh, well, we're going to drop this by 20%, your competitor down the road can drop it by 25%.
Yeah, 100%. Agree.
No, not 100%, 25%.
Yes. Anyways.
It's really hard to get a good podcast host these days. They jump all over the place, 25, 100%.
It's more the 100% is actually a thing for me, apparently. My team put together a bit of a reel of me saying 100% to everything. Apparently it's my catch cry. It's what I say. So
you know what, a mate of mine destroyed my life because he told me what my one was, and mine was at the end of the day. And although he wasn't, sort of evil enough to put together a tape like your guys would, I said, you've destroyed my life, because every time I go to say, well, at the end of the day, and then I stop.
Yes. Yeah, the difference is now everything's recorded for me, so my staff just play it back to me regularly. But anyway.
But, it could be a worse nickname than Mr. 100%.
Agreed, yes. All right, so I think we'll wrap that up there. Thanks to John for dropping in to have a chat to us about why direct response marketing should be used by all businesses. But don't go far. John is sticking around. We're going to have a few more chats about some other things that you could be doing in your business. So stay tuned to The Hop.